Alright, we're back, and I have a few updates. First of all, this was supposed to be a surprise, but somebody actually mentioned it in the comments, but I ended up buying a bunch of cottages. Now, I knew that these existed, but I never really thought about them. But we don't actually have to run all the way back to town. We can just use a cottage. Which, you know, it's basically just a worse version of the tent or the other one. Or sorry, a better version of the tent or the other one. And it can just fully restore my HP and MP anywhere in the world. So not only is this going to allow us to much easier... It's going to allow us much easier completion of dungeons because we don't have to run all the way back home and all the way back in case we're too low on any resources. But it's also going to let us explore way further out into the world. Now, it's kind of wasteful to use it right now because I just ran here after stopping a town and my team is pretty cruising, except for Grok, who got hit one time for 150 damage somehow. But other than that, I've only used one Poisona, so we're still doing pretty great. We've got like 6 left on that, I believe. And the other update is actually some bad news. Our indomitable, undefeatable, basically ultimate tank Blok, he ended up dying. His streak of immortality has finally ended. It turns out that on my way out, I encountered one of those birds. You know, the birds that turn you into stone. But, of course, last time we encountered the red version of them. And I assumed that would pretty much be the same thing. Turns out it is not. As far as I'm aware, they can just hit you one time and you die instantly. They cast some kind of spell or something because he hit me one time. I think he cast some kind of spell and it instantly killed Blok. So his streak of being an unkillable beast is unfortunately over, and we're gonna have to be significantly more careful when we're fighting against those guys, because apparently they can just blast us and we instantly die. I'm not sure if there's like a way to avoid it, but if there is, I'll definitely have to try and figure that out. Now, obviously you can see that I'm just blitzing through this place because I kind of remember where we're supposed to be going, which is nice. Okay, for a second I thought that was going to do as much damage as the dragon and I was worried, but no, we're good. But yeah, like I said, I kind of remember the pattern of this place. Not everywhere, like here, is confusing. Okay, we need to go down the left. But, you know, we went through it once, I ran out. This guy is the one that can do a lot of damage. He might actually kill Yella if I'm not careful. I should heal Yella now that I think about it. But I already remember the password, the path system. I don't know why I said password, but I should be able to relatively easily just beeline it to the boss. And we should be at pretty good health, pretty good mana. I was able to heal Yella all the way up to max with just the lesser heals, which is good. And I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that Grok and Yella will be able to kill the dog by themselves. They were not, unfortunately. He does get a blaze off, but fortunately the dog does not do that much damage, so it's really not that big of a deal. And we're going to be taking, you know, pretty much the same amount of damage as the dog does, just walking on the lava on the way to the boss anyways. So one way or another, we're going to have to do some kind of healing at the boss. I'm hoping that we'll be able to just use like one AoE spell and heal everyone to max. Would probably be the best case scenario. But worst case scenario, as you might have seen, I bought 99 potions because I don't know if I opened up my inventory at any point in the last episode, but by the time I left the dungeon, we had like 240,000 gold or something. So I maxed this out on potions, I bought a bunch of cottages, and we've still got like over 160k. So we are absolutely cruising in that department, which is really good. And I'm remembering someone else told me in the comments that apparently the way that your team is targeted is based on the order. So, for example, Blok, since he's in the first spot, 50% of all attacks go to Blok. Then, since Risa's second, 25% of all attacks go to her. Then the remaining, like, 13 and 12% or whatever go to Grok and Yella. So, I was thinking if maybe I should switch Grok and Risa, because maybe Grok is more tanky than her? But I'm pretty sure they're both about the same, and I'm just going to leave it like this for now. But if you guys know which of these characters is tankier, let me know. Actually, I can just check right here. We got 22 defense, 27 evasion, and 17 defense, 29 evasion. So yes, Risa's definitely tankier than Grok. She does have like 20 less HP, but that should be like fine. That should be mitigated by the tankiness anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. But we are on the final floor, and we do remember that the boss is just down here in the bottom left. So we're gonna have to heal up once we get in front of that door, make sure that we're fully prepared, and it's probably going to be a boss. I'm assuming there's going to be a boss at the end of the dungeon, because why wouldn't there? But there is a possibility that there's not. Oh, I'm going down the wrong spot, aren't I? No, this is right, this is right. Okay. Alright then. I was so prepared to stock up my team, but that's fine. Just knock out some ogre mages real quick. Hopefully they don't cast any AoE magic, because that could cause some actual problems. Particularly the one in the bottom left. He's gonna survive the first round, but he didn't do anything crazy, and all he casted was Dark, which is honestly great, because Dark doesn't really affect any of us, to be honest. Alright, let's do... Should we use Healar? I feel like we should just use Heal? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save all my spells, all of my AoE spells, for the actual boss. I do have 96 potions, so I'm just gonna max everyone out with these, and that should be fine. We can always buy more. Not really a problem. Sorry, my throat's a little bit scratchy right now, so I'm kind of cutting out a little bit, but that's fine. But we should be good now to just go in and beat the boss. This will be our second crystal if we can beat it. So you were the ones who defeated the Fiend of Earth and roused Merilith from her slumber. This guy looks sick. The power of the burning flame is mine, and mine alone. Those who would oppose me shall burn in hellfire. Now, fortunately, I don't remember where I learned this. Oh wow, this is like a serpent guy. He's got 4 swords. This guy actually looks just like a character from Frieren, which is kind of crazy, but... Oh, it's a woman! Okay, so it looks exactly like a female version of a character from Frieren. But, anyways, what I was gonna say was that apparently I learned that the armor that Blok is wearing, he's got like the fire shield, the fire mail, and maybe another fire piece, but I don't think so. But apparently that set actually increases fire resistance, which is really convenient, obviously, for the fire dungeon. We are going to try and use magic. I'm probably going to avoid fire magic. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually just going to use regular attacks with Risa, because usually she does more damage with regular attacks, but we can try the Blizzard, especially if the regular attack doesn't do that much damage. Grok is going to have to use regular attack, because they don't have damaging spells. And Yella, I guess I'll try to use Thundaga, and just see what happens. And if it doesn't do that much damage... Actually, you know what? First I'll use Haste on Blok, because he's always going to be using physical attacks. And then after that, I'll start using Thunder spells and see how much damage it does. Because there's a non-zero chance that... Okay, that wasn't so bad. But yeah, there's a non-zero chance that even with, you know, Thunder, it just doesn't do much of any damage in the case that she's resistant to Thunder, obviously. So we are going to have to be careful of that. I don't think we bought the spell to cure darkness, but if Grok has that, I'm definitely going to use it. Probably on Blok first, because he doesn't have magic. And I used haste on them, and someone said that haste only affects physical attacks. And I'm assuming it makes them, you know, when it pops up like 5 hit, 6 hit, or anything like that, it makes them hit more frequently. But let's see, we do have Blindna. I assume we don't have an AoE Blindna? We do not. Oh, and we should be using Protera. Okay, I'm actually going to use Protera first, because that seems really good, and I forgot that I had that. And now that we've done that, I will test Thundaga and see how much lightning damage does. The reason I'm not going to heal the darkness right away is because... Wow. Okay. Well, the reason... Sorry, I'm just like a stun lock. But the reason I'm not going to is because it's never actually made us miss. And I think with haste, we're also going to be doing better anyways in terms of hitting. I am obviously going to use Life on Yella, which is unfortunate that we have to use an AoE heal. But on the bright side, it seems like Yella just gets one shot no matter what. Meaning that even if we res him, we don't really have to worry about healing him, because he's probably just going to die in one shot anyways. That said, with Grok, we do want to use heals on him, because Grok could very well die at any moment, which would be very bad for us. I am going to... That said, I'm going to... this is an example of why I honestly should be using the individual spells, because Cure is just not strong enough. And I think I heard that the strongest individual spell is level 7, so I'll probably buy that at some point. But like, there's no point to using Life right now. Or sorry, Hilara. Because it's only him. So I think I'm going to just have him... You know what, I'm going to have him use Blindna on Blok, because I think that'll help, and then I'll have him use a potion on him. He's not one-hittable right now, I don't think. Oh, and Yella dies again. Which is obviously bad, and it also means that we're not going to be able to get that heal off on Grok. I'm going to try and use Life one more time, and then I'm going to use my biggest AoE heal. And I'm realizing that because this guy uses AoE fire magic, that it will be useful to heal Yella, because even though he can get one shot... Oh! I was thinking so far ahead. I thought I was going to have to heal everyone so that Yella doesn't get one shot by AoE, because that's the only kind of attacks that he'll get hit by most frequently, because he's in the bottom slot. And I was going to have to heal him, and then use him to try and heal himself with potions, and I was going to have to use Blindna to restore Risa, and we just killed it. And I'm extremely happy that we healed Yella before we killed it, because if we didn't, Yella would have fallen behind a lot in XP, so I'm super happy about that. And damn, we crushed it! I feel like the dungeon itself was harder than the boss, but I also think that that's because we're probably supposed to get here and then just fight the boss, rather than get here, turn around, go heal up, and then blitz through to the end of the dungeon. Or we're supposed to get here without really opening chests, and then get chests on our way out, so that we can like calculate better how to survive. But either way, it doesn't matter. We were able to crush the boss, which is awesome. I'm super happy about that. We should be pretty safe on our way home, I would think. But we're still gonna have to be careful. And we're still gonna need to heal Yella. I completely forgot that Yella was on 1 HP actually. So I'm glad that he didn't get hit there. I know somebody was upset about that. He's gonna spam Kira on them. And that actually puts them in a pretty good spot. And then I guess I will use Hilara. Because whatever, we're going home anyways. We should be fine. And that looks pretty good. The lowest perch right now is Grok. But they've got like barely less defense than Risa. And they're in the 3rd from the bottom slot. So they should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. I'm actually going to defend with everyone. And then I'm just going to cast Fandaga. And this, I hope this should just kill everyone, I think. Because lightning magic on water enemies. We're pretty good on our level right now. Yeah, we did good. So we don't have to worry about that too much. I just want to get home. So we don't have to worry about spending mana either. We have no worries in the world right now, to be honest. We just need to get home, talk to those people that obviously are standing in a circle and know something about what's going on. They're probably going to tell us, like, how to get a float stone or something. That guy, by the way, is the one that hit Yella earlier for like 150. He does seem to be still at a safe HP. So I'm just going to keep exploring. I almost went the opposite direction of town, which would have been kind of dangerous for Yella. But I think it would have been fine anyways. I am actually going to focus on the trolls first. Just because I know that they can heal. I'm not sure if they're stronger or weaker than the Minotaurs. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. We're right next to town. None of this should be a problem. It does seem like the trolls are a little bit stronger than the Minotaurs, because the Minotaurs are taking more damage. But we're at town now. We can heal up, talk to the people in the ring, and they're probably going to tell us, like, I'm hoping they'll give us a float stone or something so that we can travel up to the north, or maybe make us a bridge or something like that. Now that I'm trying to remember, I'm not 100% sure on where we're supposed to craft the float stone, but I'm pretty sure it was in the Dwarven Kingdom that was. So we should be able to get there and craft it. I think it was in the room in the top, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll have to see. I'm Lucan, I see a Cycle of Wrath, blah 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 blah. I'm surprised these guys aren't saying anything that I defeated it 400 years ago. It was Win, blah 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 blah. Okay, so these guys are saying pretty much the same thing. Surely none of these guys are going to be that important to talk to. Now lost, the 4 Fiends of Chaos, block the power of crystals, can use their own. I'm just going to quickly talk through all of them, just to see if in case they give me an item. It seems like they're saying pretty much the same stuff. This guy is talking about the fire. Where the Fiend of Fire passes, all is engulfed in flame. Huh. The Fiend of Earth rots the land. Yeah, it seems like they're just saying the same thing. I thought he was talking about how I killed it, but I'm not really sure. Hopefully we get some direction, because right now I have no idea where we're supposed to be going, and I don't know how to get the float stone. But hopefully we can go to the dancer in the starter town, and she should at least give us somewhere to head to. But that was great. We did honestly better than I thought we would. We were able to crush him quite fast. I think maybe we're supposed to... Okay, yeah. I see where we're supposed to go. We need to go up to that port directly above us. Directly above our ship. And that should lead us to the river. Because before we did not have access to that. Now we will be able to go through that, which is amazing. Because we found our little canoe, which is cool. And then we should be able to get through that second little set of rivers that we weren't able to connect to through this one. And there's probably going to be like a chest or a mini dungeon or something over there that probably has a float stone, if I had to guess. Because I can't think of anywhere else that we haven't gone yet. I can't think of a single spot. I am going to save my lightning, even though there's quite a few enemies here. But at this point, we should be able to crush them pretty well. We're we're able to one-shot the sharks with Risa and Grok, which is nice. Oh wow, even oh sorry, I meant Blok and Risa can one-shot them, but even Grok and Yella combined are able to one-shot them now, which is crazy. I did not know that they would be able to have that much strength in them. That's actually awesome. We don't have to worry about that anymore. I did just accidentally defend with Yella, which I guess is fine. Doesn't really matter. We're taking 1 damage and they're all attacking Blok, which is nice. It's crazy how when we fight the strong enemies, they all, you know, split up their attacks and attack everyone. And then when we fight the weakest enemies that we haven't fought in for a long time, or we have been fighting them on and off for a long time at least, and they don't do that much damage, then they all focus on Blok. And it's like, the one time you guys won't do that much damage to Yella, you don't attack him. Like, bro. They're plotting against us, which obviously they're bad guys, but like, come on. Okay. I wanted to stay in the land and try and avoid the river as much as possible, but here we are. There does seem to be a little spot of land to the left of us, but I don't think there's anything on it. Well, obviously I'm still going to check. Same with the little river below. Yeah, there's definitely nothing there. This might be something. This looks like a hole. I feel like I was expecting to walk over that and like fall into a trap or something with like a little hidden dungeon. But no, it was just a random little circle of land. Oh, this is taking us all the way back. Okay, I've walked in a circle. That's fine though. Now we know that there's nothing down there. I think that Blok can one-shot the alligator, but I'm not sure, so I'll put the 2 little guys on him. And I'm pretty confident that Reese is going to be able to one-shot the fish. Okay, he was not able to one-shot the alligator, but the fish definitely got one-shot, which is nice. We need to be careful with these guys, because they do a lot of damage. And we can't just kind of aimlessly attack. We always need to pick our first attacks. It looks like left and right both go to the same place, but I'm going to go left because it's longer and I can see the right path from it. So we won't have to worry about missing anything. This guy, we're going to team up on. Oof, I was hoping that we would hit him twice with Blok and Risa before he got his attack off, but unfortunately he did hit Risa for quite a hefty chunk of damage. But we're already almost at the end of this river. I'm gonna go left, yeah. Oh, actually, okay. I was thinking that if we went left, that we wouldn't end up having to go up because it looked like a little bit of a, you know, dead end. But it looks like there's land up there, so there's very likely possibility that there is something up there. So we'll just have to see. I'm not sure. You know what? That's actually where we came from. Or is it? No, it's not. No, we've never been there before. Okay, so I'll just explore the rest of this water, and then we can turn around and go back up. I am not sure if there's something down here. I feel like there's probably not going to be. However, there is a little dungeon door there, and I don't remember going into that. But it's very possible that I have. There does seem to be nothing, by the way, in this land I'm seeing. So I guess that was a dead end, and I'm glad I didn't go there. Meaning that little dungeon door is probably something that we're going to have to do. I'm just going to defend with everyone. Because as long as they don't attack Yella, we should be fine. And then Yella should be able to one-shot all of them with Thundaga. I think. I'm pretty sure he can one-shot the alligators. They do attack Yella, unfortunately, so we are going to have to heal. But we're not in too bad of a situation. And they did all die. For a second, I thought that they were all going to survive, and I was really nervous. But it worked out. In the end, we should be good to make it all the way to land. Okay, we made it to land safely, and that door definitely was the entrance. I don't know if I want to use... Yeah, okay, you know what? I'm going to use Grok's AoE magic, Hilara, on everyone. And then I'm going to use heal on everyone. And that should get everyone pretty high. Yeah, we're pretty good. I'm not too worried about using, like, a tent or a cottage or whatever it was called right now, because, I mean, first of all, we're just at the entrance. This is an awesome cavern, by the way. This might be, like, the opposite. Oh, you know what? I can use Dia, and it should probably do decent damage to these guys, I think. But we might be at, like, the entrance of a new crystal? I would imagine not, because I feel like we're pretty close to the end of the game already. And I thought that the other two crystals would be up in the north. But I'm not certain. Let's see what the crystals are. There is a blue one, which could be water or ice. But we've never used water magic. So I'm going to assume that that is the ice crystal. We might actually have found the ice crystal's location then. Which is kind of crazy. And this dungeon does look very vast. So it's a very, very real possibility that we've just stumbled upon the ice dungeon. I had assumed that we weren't going to be going into the ice dungeon until, like, far later. As in, like, on the other continent. But maybe there's just two, like, dungeons? Or sorry, maybe there's only one dungeon on the other continent, and then a second dungeon is, like, the final boss. And then there's just, like, various, like, mini dungeons or whatever around. But that's interesting. It's also possible that I'm just wrong, and we're gonna end up fighting through this dungeon, and there's no crystal, but we do get, like, a float stone or something, and then there's, like, a water dungeon with all water enemies in the next one. I'm really not sure. If there is a water dungeon, though, we should honestly be doing pretty good there, because we do have a lot of AoE lightning spells, which is really convenient, and I'm not sure where we would even get a float stone if this place doesn't end up having one. Now, there is a very real chance that it just has both the crystal and the float stone, like I said earlier, but I don't know, I feel like it would be weird to have two very important items in the same dungeon. But I guess the way the dungeon's set up, you kind of instinctually go into the fire dungeon first, just because it's the first port you encounter that leads to a town, and then it leads to a dungeon. Whereas this one, you'd have to keep boating further north, and most people are probably just going to stop the first dungeon instinctually. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll just have to explore it and find out. I will also say, that room that we just went by, the way that it was constructed with that ice there, it made it look as if there was, like, a shortcut that we could make. Like, it looked like we could burn that ice there. Oh, wow. 2 new enemies. I'm kind of scared. But, you know what? I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna use Firaga, because I'm quite confident that fire magic on ice enemies is going to do a lot of damage. I'm glad I defended, because he just did 28 even though I was defending, which is insane. And I just gotta pray that it one-shots them. It did not, but it was able to kill the wolves, and I'm hoping that we can kill the big guy. We were, and I'm realizing Arisa's sword does ice damage. But fortunately, it doesn't seem like it does less damage because we're fighting ice enemies. Okay, this is terrifying. I'm definitely going to attack the top one, and then use Firaga. It does seem like she does more physical damage than fire damage, but nonetheless, that's fine. I'm going to also use Protera, which, you know, it's an expensive spell, but I don't usually need to use it more than once in a fight, and I'm just gonna pray to God that it activates, like, immediately, and nobody gets hit for too much damage. I'm also going to maybe use Haste? Sleep Breath, Thundar? I don't know. I'm just gonna use Thundara, because a lot of the, you know, status ailment spells just don't really work very well on strong enemies. We did get Protera off, but we were already attacked twice. Oh, and Lightning actually does a lot of damage to these guys, which I'm quite surprised about. I thought that Fire would be clearly advantageous over them, but it feels like Thunder is just better. It feels like Lightning Magic is just good against every enemy in the game. Which, I mean, I'm not going to complain about. We got the Mind Flare here from Stranger Things. I'm going to assume, yeah, he's weak to physical damage. Okay. That's awesome. Almost 400 damage in one hit is astronomical. And it looks... I could be wrong. As a matter of fact, I probably am wrong. Because I saw, like, staircases leading to places that we haven't been to yet. But it looks like we might be at the end of the dungeon, just based on this door placement, but there's probably just going to be a staircase leading up or something in there. I also probably could have used Dia to take out a lot of these guys instead of fighting them like this. But I mean, I'm not really that worried about it. I feel like I'd rather save my Dia spell for, you know, the heal, the basic heal. Then again, I probably would have taken, you know, less damage just using the Dia spell on this many enemies, especially considering Blok got stunned. So I'll have to keep that in mind. If there's ever like 6 or more wraiths, I should just use defense on everyone and then cast Dia. But it's fine. We took them out. We didn't take that much damage, and they're probably... Oh! Okay. There was some sort of ice crystal. I don't know if that was the ice crystal. It definitely wasn't, actually. It was way smaller. I should have looked at the floor before I walked, but I've never seen that before, so I can't be called out, okay? That's the first time for me. We've never fallen in a hole before. Alright, it's not my fault. We do seem to be down in the depths. I am going to do the same thing I just said that I was going to do. Cast... That's the wrong character. Cast Dia. Hopefully it kills all of them. I would not be surprised if the 3 specters survived. But either way, it should kill the first front 6 at least. I think. And it does, which is very nice. Now we can just wipe up the last 3, which I don't think is going to be that hard. Unless they end up stunning Blok, and we're not going to be able to one-shot one. Actually, no, because they were low. Both Grok and Yellow were able to one-shot them, which is actually really good. I'm going to check on my HP real quick, because I tend to get distracted, but we seem to be doing pretty good. And it is just like the lava dungeon, where there's going to be spike, like, lava traps on the floor. That seems to be nothing over there. So, oh wow, what are these guys? They're casting magic! Oh my god, they can cast Death. And Firaga. Okay, these guys are problematic. And I accidentally auto-attacked them. So, that's not good. I'm going to attack that one physically. Use maybe Firaga? Okay, actually, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to attack the second one physically, then use Firaga, and pray that these 2 could take out the bottom one, and that Firaga plus the damage of physicality on the top and the bottom one that we're going to do is enough to just take out the top 2 in and of itself. You know, I've got low faith in Grok and Yella to take out the bottom one because they don't do that much physical damage against these guys. But, oh, they actually were able to take him out. That's actually awesome. But we gotta remember, we cannot activate auto attack until, at the very least, we, you know, what's the word? Change our attacks to regular attacks. We are fighting 2 white dragons again. But as we saw before, they're not that strong. Yella is very low. But I'm just going to gamble that he survives. And if he dies, I'll just use heal on him. And I'm going to use Thundara. And hopefully this is enough to kill them. They do use Ice Storm, which might kill Yella. It does kill Yella, and they use it twice. That's going to be super bad for Risa. Fortunately, Blok was able to one-shot him. Please, Risa. Okay, Risa was also able to one-shot. We are going to have to use quite a bit of healing magic. Oh, but we got Ice Armor, so that should help. But Blok's probably the only one that can use it. So now he's got Ice and Fire Armor, but he's the only one. It's so unfortunate that I can't put it on someone else, but maybe I can. We haven't tested yet. We are going to use Life on Yella, obviously. And then we're going to use Healara. Twice, maybe? Okay, and then the rest... I guess we could use Heal a couple times. And then we can use some potions to just finish everyone off a little bit if they need it. Not everyone even needs it. Okay, we should be good now. Oh yeah, I do want to equip the Ice Armor, or at least see who it's good on. I'm assuming obviously he can use it. Yes, and it's the same stats as before, but it's going to be resistant to fire, which we need to keep in mind. Hopefully someone else can use it, but they cannot, unfortunately, so we're going to have to put it on him. But that's fine. It's the same defense, but he's going to be more resistant to ice attacks, which I guess is good. And we got Mithril Gloves, which, again, I don't think anyone can wear, except for him, but I'm going to double check just in case. And yeah, he's the only one that can wear them. He's already got them. So I guess we're just going to have to sell a pair of Mithril Gloves, which kind of hurts my soul a little bit. But that's okay. We can look at the map and just see exactly where to go. We're going to have to go down into a door. I don't want to miss any secret doors because I feel like they're kind of hard to see. We've already gone into a door that... Oh, we came in from the door at the top. Okay. So yeah, we just go straight down, grab that door, and then we go right and go on to the next floor. I'm going to defend with everyone and use Firaga. Or should I use Fyra? I'm going to use Fyra and just test if it's good enough to kill these dogs, because if it is, that would be very useful. Oh, but they can use Ice Storm. Okay, it's not as strong as the dragon, which is very nice, because if these dogs could all use the dragon level power of Firestorm, or Ice Storm rather, or whatever the name of that spell was, we would probably be in a lot of trouble. It was not enough to kill them, so I'm going to have to use it a second time. Which is fine. I'm glad that we tested it now rather than later. Because if we didn't, then we could have ended up trying that in a more difficult fight, or when we didn't have as much HP reserves on our characters, and that could have caused us a lot of problems. So, better sooner than later. Just gotta go straight down. I'm starting to think that we probably don't have a way to break through that ice, by the way. Just because... I don't know, I feel like this is an old game and it's not gonna have that, but it's, I mean, I suppose it's possible that it does, but we'll just have to see. I think, I don't know what I think. I'm gonna put both these guys on him and those two on them, and hopefully they'll kill the bottom guy first, and then whoever's left over can just kill the top guy, yeah. Which is good. This dungeon seems scary. You know what I bet that blue stone was, actually, now that I think about it? And I'm not sure if this dungeon's gonna have a crystal because of it. I bet you that that blue stone is the float stone. It's probably the float stone. I'm gonna use Firaga on these guys, because there's just so many. And we did test before that the weaker one doesn't kill them, so... Better against 7 than 6, or 5 was it before? I don't know, whatever. There's more now than before, so another good reason for why we did it. Also, that was 12,000 gil, and all of these chests are giving us, like, 7,000 plus. We're making crazy money from this dungeon. We do need to heal Yella very badly. Hopefully this doesn't kill. It doesn't? Oh, that might, though. Okay, he does survive. We're just gonna use Pyraga again, but we are going to use some AoE healing. Hilara, probably. We will still have enough for a life, just in case Yella dies, but hopefully he doesn't. I'm gonna defend with him, and just pray that he doesn't die. Or maybe I should make him drink a potion? No, I feel like it's safe to just defend. Because, yeah, exactly, they're gonna attack and he's gonna die anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. We are gonna have to use life spell on him, and we're gonna have to be a lot more careful from now on, because any deaths are gonna be permanent deaths from here on out, which obviously is bad. And they're using so many ice storms, this super sucks. The amount of ice storms that we just got hit with is ridiculous. But it's fine. We do still have one healing spell. All that for 1100 gold. Come on now. That's messed up. We are going to use life on Yella. And then we're going to use heal until Blok is capped out. We'll do one more. And then I guess we can just do the rest potions? Or at least give Yella a couple potions. Everyone else seems pretty fine, but Yella definitely needed it. I'll give him 3 even. And I just want to get to the next room, the next floor, and we'll probably end it there for now. And oh, so many of these guys. We're gonna run out of fire spells. Okay, we can't just keep spamming fire spells. I think I'm going to use Fyra, and then use physical attacks, because if we just keep spamming our strongest fire spell, when we run into some real strong ice enemies, we're gonna end up dying. And we definitely don't want that, obviously. So hopefully those top 2 right ones will die in one hit, which they do. Oh, and then we accidentally cast it twice because I had auto attack on. How many times am I gonna do that before I remember for once? I gotta start keeping a tally, honestly, or go back through when I'm done with the game and just write down how many times I've done that. This guy seems scary, but he did a single attack, which is good. His AoE is the real problem, and his HP is not as big as you would expect it to be. This is a long episode, I'm realizing, but it's been a while since I've played, so it's fine. And we made it to a big chest room. There's probably gonna have a lot of enemies, and we need to be careful because there's a hole in the floor there. I do see it under the 3 chests. I will be careful. I'll probably fall into it on purpose, to be honest, because I want to explore what's in there. But we're gonna save it for next time. That was good episode. We got the red crystal, we got the fire crystal, and we found an ice dungeon. I'm super curious to see if we're gonna find an ice crystal somewhere in here, but we'll save that for next time. We had an extra long episode today because I've been off for Thanksgiving stuff. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!